What's up, you guys? I'm gonna... No. Hey! No. Hey, Andy here, DIY Band. I'm gonna show you a program called Podium by Zynewave. I have done this video before. You go, oh, Andy, you've already done something like this before. All about that. Yeah, ignore that. It was rubbish. If you want to go and have a look, it won't be. It probably won't be there anymore. I probably got rid of it after thinking about it now. It's probably gone. But let's have a look at Zynewave. It's completely free DAW. There is a paid version, but I'll show you how to download it, how to install it, all the bits about it, where to put your VSTs, how it works. It's a great way to get started. Here we go. Okay, so jumping straight in, what you're going to want to do first is, if you're looking to get Podium, as I said, it's a free DAW. There are limitations on it, but I'll go through them, that's fine. If you head over to zynewave.com/podium-free, I will put a link in the description for you, so you can just click on that, just be a bit easier. And then you scroll down a little bit, and then you've got here, Podium Free 3.2.1 is the current version. It's a few years old. We're always running, as I said, there is a paid version. We're always running a couple of versions behind the paid version. When the paid version goes up, I'm assuming we'll go up a step as well. We'll always try. It's always a bit of an incentive to get the real one. But I've been using the free one for a few years now, updating as they do it. And it's been working fine, and I love it, so that's why I'm sharing with you guys. So anyway, go hit download, just click on that link there, save it where you wish to save it, run it, open it, all of that jazz. I'll tell you what I might actually do, because I've already got that running. Let's just go through that installer, shall we? Let's just chuck it on my desktop for now. So it's not a very large file. In fact, I've probably got it somewhere, but... So what you're going to want to do is run this MSI here. Now, you've got a difference here. If I just back up one step here. Do you want to cancel installation? Yes, please. Oh, yeah. Right, so you've got this one here, which is your 32-bit. And then you've got a 64-bit. Now, if you're only running a 32-bit system on your computer, then you're only going to have the choice of installing the 32-bit. But if you do have a 64-bit system like I do, which most people do here, you have the choice to install either. I run the 32-bit system for two reasons. The limitations that the free version gives you limits you on CPU usage. So the only benefit really of having the 64-bit system is so that you can utilize a little bit more RAM. If you're going over your head, don't worry, I'm moving on now. The second part is a lot of VSTs that you're going to be loading into this DAW. You'll always find a 32-bit version. There might not always be a 64-bit version, and you need to match what your DAW is. There are programs that you can have that can link them across and convert them, but there's not a free one that I've found, at least anyway. So I find it safe to install a 32-bit version, because then all of your VSTs that you want are always going to work. So we're going to hit next. Now here, change the way the feature's installed. Let's just have a look and see what's in here. So we've got the program itself and the plugins. That's fine. We'll have that. We won't change that at all. I'm not going to repair. So I'll tell you what. Just go next, and this is going to start to install it, isn't it? So I don't want to do any of that, but you can go through and do it. And it's as simple as that. Next thing we'll look at, obviously, is opening it up. Now, when you first start, this is all going to be empty. This is going to be empty. You're not going to have anything in here. You might have a few things in here, but you won't have as much as this anyway, because this is my collection of VSTs. So, first thing we're going to go through is our setup. So let's set up our audio device. Now, depending on what you've got, make sure you've got it all plugged in, make sure you've got the drivers installed. If you've got a USB audio interface, make sure you've installed that already and that's all running and all good. Then, if you're going to do it now, close Zynewave Podium, do it now, install the audio interface, then open up Podium again. Now, you should be able to find it in here. if you're using a USB one, it should download some sort of ASIO driver, and then you'll be able to see all of your sound cards in here. Select your sound card, it should come up with your inputs, outputs. Now your driver setup for your individual interface will appear on here. This is your sample rate. You need to make sure that your sample rate is the same as here and the same as your project sample rate. That's a little bit more advanced thing, but just if you just stick to one, so you're either going to be really running at 44.1 or 48. And once you're stuck with one, just that's it. Don't change it. You'll be fine. You've got your device here, your buffer size. Now this is going to be for your latency. So if I strum a guitar, how long is it before it gets processed and I hear it back through the speakers? Now if there is a very big delay, then you probably want to be changing your sample size. And if you're getting it, if it's too bitty, if it's too choppy, and it can't quite process it as quick as you're asking it to send through, then again you need to lengthen your sample size. So that's your sample size there. That's all good. If you've got MIDI, you can configure your MIDI in here, and that's all you can do really in the audio setup. Your preferences, and this is where all your projects are going to save, where all your templates, all your VSTs, all that things in. All of that stuff. So yeah, you've got Podium that runs in under your C drive, under program files, whether it be program files x86 for your 32-bit versions, or just program files if you did install that 64-bit. But all of your projects they save somewhere else. So I've got mine saved in Documents and Zynewave and then Projects. So I wonder if I can just go to that here. So yeah, in here, and then all of my different projects I've got sitting in there, so they're all tied in, and inside of them are all of the audio files related to that project. Templates, obviously you're not going to need to change any of that, but it's nice to know where they are, I guess, if you ever did need to know. So Newfound, I would recommend, I'm sure it's on WAV by default, make sure that's on default there. Use driver setting for your bit resolution. No, that's fine. Plugins. Now, I moved my plugins. There was a bug, I'm not sure if there still is a bug, with running this program with Windows 10, where after a while, unknown reason, I think there was a Windows update, and it started to bug it out. Let me show you where it was, and then I will show you where I moved it to get it to work. So C drive, program files x86. Oh, let's go back. That was not in it. Zynewave, Podium free, in here. I had that folder. So x86, Zynewave, Podium free. It had all the VSTs in there, and for some reason, as I said, I think it was a Windows update, it's kept failing to load the plugins. It wasn't like it was a permissions thing, or not really sure what it was, but I couldn't give myself permissions or give the program permission to go in there willy-nilly. So what I did is I cut it out, and I literally just dumped it straight on the C drive there. Okay. Worked a treat. What I did then have to do, I had to come back here and then browse for it so I can load all my plugins. Now when you do download a plugin, that's where you're going to be putting all your plugins to load them, have them load automatically into here. If we do need to change anything in here, now you can have a little bit of calibration. If you appearance, if you want change your font, your colours, your sizes, all that stuff. I don't think this is default colours. I'm not really sure what I've done here. I'll change it every now and then. What else have we got? Oh, there you go. Colours. You can change like all sorts. Panel background. Make it an awful green. Let's see what that does. Oh, Jesus Christ! Right, so you can mess around in here. I don't know why I had it set to. Oh my god. Let's go. I'm gonna go more grey blue. Let's make it like that. Apply. That's a bit to blue. It will do for now. Hit OK, and then obviously you can save that as well. Save colour, set up, and then you can have it appear in here. So I think we're going through pretty much. There's not really much else you need to do in that side of it. So let's just say we've just opened it up. We want to record a song. What do? As I said, this will be blank for you. You don't want to save? Yes, I do want to save. So we are going to start a new project. Now, what I did do originally was create a new project for like every song, which was absolute nightmare. Really, because then you've got to load it all, and it just takes a long time, and you can't have all of your default profiles really, like all these bits at least anyway, all your VSTs change every time, and the inputs change every time. You have to set it all up for every song. So what I do now is I create a project. So if I go File, New Project, you want to make sure it's a stereo sound. Let's give it test project. Leave all of that. That's fine. Now I want to make sure here that this audio face, so this audio interface, is the one that I've already set up. So is that my audio interface? If it isn't, go in here, make sure it's all set up, all good. So it's your second opportunity really to sort that out. And MIDI, again, if you're using MIDI, then you can set that up there. Now this is your plugins. So any plugins that you do have in that folder that I just showed you, where I've moved it to the C drive, that's where it's going to be looking for all of its for your VST plugins. Create a new project. So we have just created the new project. We are here, test project. Here is where it's saved. But now what? There's nothing there. So what we need to do is like add a track, right? So add an arrangement, new arrangement, song 1. Okay. Now again, we've got our sample rate, etc. We can pre-add some audio. Let's add 2 audio tracks here, and I'm not going to add any buses or sends. And that's fine. So hit that. There we go. There's our 2 audio tracks. Going back a step quickly, our song is here. That's fine. If I want to add another song, okay, song 2, I then don't have to go through that whole setup of adding the VSTs, that sorting out the audio interface. It's all done. So that's why I like to separate projects. That's why. So Death Stares and Dropkicks was a whole album that I was working on. I've got Unknown Artist, another whole album that I'm working on, and all of the songs are in there, and I've got them all listed in here, and they're all running from the same set of VSTs, the same set of inputs and outputs. Again, we'll go back to track 1 now. Here are our tracks here. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to change my colour, because I can't do this. It's how do I go to default? There we go. So that's probably what your one looks like right now. Excuse me. So let's just go through a quick things. Now here we have a master track. Now anything that you do to this is going to affect everything. Okay, it's the master. So if I added a VST onto here, let's just say I added an equalizer, that is going to equalize every track on your project or on this song, on song 1. And these are your individual tracks. You can also add these by either right clicking add track or double clicking add in a track. So let's go track 3. Actually, I'm going to change drums. Okay, let's say we're going to use it as a group track, and let's change its colour to, actually I'm not going to change its colour yet, I'll show you why. So we've got a group track. Now this little box here tells me that it's a group track. If you press Control Shift and then your wheel forwards, it will zoom in wherever your cursor is. Alright. And again, Control Alt zooms in horizontally. So if you're in a track there, you can zoom in horizontally. So as I said, this is a group track. Now what we can do with this is we can grab other tracks and lump them into there. Okay, I'm just going to copy that lot and call this guitars, right? It's also a group track. Now anything I do in here, I'm going to make this blue, so I can just click on that, turn it blue, and I make this green, so you can see the difference between them. Anything I do in here, this group bit here, is going to affect only these two. Okay, now that's going to save a lot of repetition and a lot of CPU power if you're only using the VST once as opposed to twice on each individual thing. So I want to use the same VST on both of these tracks, group it, and just use it once on the group track, and it will run down through the tracks. Now, how do we record something? Okay, so let's go to our track. I want to record something on track 2. Inputs, audio 1, audio 2. They will be set up from your audio interface. So they might be called something slightly different, but those are your inputs there. Mark it for record. Press K to arm the track, arm the song to go into record mode, or you can click down here and that will just turn anything that's got the R that's armed for record. That will turn anything into we're going to record that now, and then press play and it will start to record. Obviously there's nothing going through there at the moment because I've not got anything in, but that's how you record something. Let's unarm this. If you have multiple things actually recorded, you can unrecord everything. So unarm everything all at the same time. These are all your master buttons. They've probably got a real name. Let's just say like I'm going to solo these two. I can take them both off at the same time. I can shift and click on solo to solo an individual thing and to swap. Look. So if I soloed without pressing shift, that's solo now, and I just click. They're both then soloed. Excuse me. Dying. Right. Whoa. Oh, Jesus. Right. So they're both soloed. Let's get rid of that now. So hopefully this video will be a bit better than the last one. I say hopefully, it will be, because if you've seen it, if you've come here from that video, then you know that you didn't spend more than 10 seconds on it, because of the voiceover was terrible. And this is my apology video, giving you the same information. Right. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to load in something from I'm going to load in like a guitar track that I've recorded. Where have I put them all? All my projects are in here. Zynewave, Podium, projects. Let's go to unknown artist, album. Have I got one called guitar? Oh, guide guitar. That's not good. Probably not good anyway. Sod it. That'll do. Let's see this one actually. What I really should do is probably turn the volume down a bit on here, so you're not getting it through. And what I will do as well. Okay, right, here we go. So magic to my headphones on. Well, that was cool, right? So we've got our guitar track here. Me personally, I record my guitars in clean, like this. Alright, so no effects on them, and then I do all the effects after. So how are we going to do that? We're going to add some VSTs to them. In our add plus button here is going to give us a list of all the VSTs that we've loaded in folders. And let's just start by something real crazy. Let's go to Pod Farm. Everything you see here is completely free. So no, they're not trials or anything. It is just free stuff that I've gone through, and I've got rid of more stuff than I've actually got because it's not been good. So let's have a look here. I'll add one of my. Here we go. Let's do as a default template. Add an VSTs. See what it does. Alright, let's add another one. Actually, what I'm going to do is show you on the group. So if I added something on the group here. Now, Zynewave does come with some VSTs. They're okay. I've since replaced them. I don't really use them very much now. In fact, I use a lot of the replugs to in their place. So let's grab this EQ here. Alright. Just to show you how the group actually works. Okay, now let's have a look at, let's talk about the play cursor for a bit. So this blue thing here, if you hold in your middle button, that's what moves the little play cursor. Loads of things you can do with this thing. If you double click it, it will play for where you're going. You can snap if you press A as a shortcut. That will snap here. You can change how it snaps for you. So if I press A, I can't move it now until I'm close to another bar. So there we go, it would snap to the next bar. Let's undo that for now. What we can do is once the track is selected, with this play cursor here, we can press Ctrl T to cut it. Alright, let's do it again here. It's because we're cleaning up the guitars. So instead of this noise in here, yeah, we don't need any of that. Put our play cursor where we need it to be. And then get rid. Okay. L to loop. Just going to go through all the shortcuts, really, all the ones I know off the top of my head quickly. How to loop in this section. Okay. If you are running like via a metronome, or you're doing just electronic music, or you haven't recorded anything live or anything like that, you can change your tempo by either double clicking here and changing the tempo and tapping in the tempo or typing it in, or double clicking down here, and that's how you would change the tempo. And you can also add different tempo points as well. Okay, so you say, right, through there, I want it to go at whatever, and then I want it to slow down for a bit, and then at this bit I want it to go faster, and do you know what I mean? So you can just double click on that, as I said. Now to get rid of the loop, you press L again. Now what I'm doing here is grabbing and panning. If I press Control and Shift and click, then it moves, moves you through the project. Now what is pretty cool, now I think, I don't think there's any other DAWs that do it this way, is up here is your navigation. Okay, now it's proper small at the moment. See if we can get it a little bit right. So up here is your navigation. I've never really used these. I don't know really what they do. I should probably learn for you. I'll learn for you and see how we go. I don't know what I've done now either. But here's your navigation, and when you've got more tracks in here, it'll become a little bit more apparent. But this box here that lights up is what you can see, how much of the song you can see on your screen. Okay, now if we open that up all the way to the end, we can see everything. What we can do is we can zoom out even more, and we can see everything, plus a load ton more. Okay, and then what we can do is we can drag it along and be like, if you can see the whole track here, but, oh, actually, I'm going to go to the verse, the third verse or whatever, chuck it in there. And I think that's quite cool, the visual element of it. And obviously when there's more tracks, you can go up and down too. Now if you've seen any DAW before, you've seen faders, and you're probably wondering, where are they? So in the mixer console here, double click, and here are your faders. You can resize it, you can have both on screen at the same time. You can zoom in for it a little bit more with the same controls as the I don't know what this bit's called. It's definitely got a name. I do know what it's called. But this area here, your work area, where all the tracks are, the same controls for in here as well. And obviously, and play that through like that, okay? You have a metronome, which will run here at the BPM that you have set. Now to save a project, you want to go to File, Save Project. Okay, let's just go ahead and save that. Now that's saved, done, lovely. But there is a different side to it as well. So if you have a bounce, so if you finished and you go, right, song's ready, done, saving your project will do nothing, okay? It will save it, that's fine, but you won't have a track. You won't have that song at the end of it where you want to upload to your SoundCloud or anything like this. So what we would want to do is we get the song, lovely job. What we will do is we'll go to our master bus and we will hit B on our keyboard. So hit B. That will then bounce all the tracks down. Obviously, there's a lot of learning to do and a lot of things to do before you get to that stage. But this is how it would be done. Hit B, and there we go. There is our track here. Then what we do is we go to File up here, okay? So that, you see how there's no line here. These are the settings for this song, okay? Go File, Export to Sound File. If you hit that. Now, if you're going to be either converting to MP3 or putting it on a CD, you'd want to change this to 16-bit. There we go. Okay. If you're not doing that, if you're putting it over to a master, if you're going to move over to the mastering phase, keep it at 32-bit, no conversion. Either way, do not hit normalize, because if you're going to be mastering it, or it's been mastered, you don't need to normalize it. You've just done that. That's fine. Hit export. Choose where it's going to save. Let's call it what we called it here. Song 1. Save. Done. Our file is now in that folder where we saved it. And there we go. So hopefully that is all you're going to need for this video, really. Hopefully it's a decent replacement for the last video where there's not really very good sound quality at all. We've got, again, go to Zynewave, go get the free version of this. Just a quick thing of the limitation of it. You are limited on your CPU usage. That's the main limitation, at least for me. And it will be for yourself as well. If you're only, no matter how fast your computer is, it will only be able to use one core of your CPU. For instance, I've got a quad core CPU. I'm using a quarter of my processing power, which kind of sucks, but that's why it's free. You know, if I want more processing power, get the paid version, but I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that this works for me. I want to work. There's workarounds. You may find that actually it's worth going for. I mean, there is a trial version of their paid version as well, which is actually pretty good, and the differences are quite good. But like, it's just the processing power. If you can live with that, then okay, then really you're not going to benefit much from the paid version, except that there is support there and there is updates coming out for it. Well, that's the main thing. The main difference for me is the fullest DAW that I've found that's free, that's not a trial. You know. You can get free versions of certain DAWs, but they're completely limited. Like the sound will cut out for every 30 seconds or something like that. Or it's just a trial and you can only use it for 30 days, etc. Do that. That's why I've shown you how to do your VSTs. I've shown you how to set up a few tracks and start recording, making some music. Go crazy. Please make sure you either like the video or subscribe. One of the two. I don't care. One of them, alright? Give it a like or comment even. Right, okay, there we go. We've got 3. You have to like, you have to subscribe or comment. Do one of them, I'll be a happy boy. Andy from DIY Band, please come back again soon. I really like making these videos, especially now that they're picking up a lot of pace now. Getting quite a few views on them, so I'm glad I seem to be a little bit helpful. More people are going to be using this. If there are any T-shirts, Zynewave, I'm a medium, alright? So make sure you reach out for an address next time on DIY Band. Bye.